What Would I Do Without You? Chapter 6, Part 1. It was the first day back to school after Christmas vacation, and I felt deep anxiety coming over me as I turned into the parking lot. I couldn't wait to get out of the car and look for Aaron. As I turned the corner to head down the breezeway, I saw Chris and his monkey friends walking towards me. Did you and your girlfriend have a fight over Christmas? Roger poked fun as they walked by. What are you talking about? I answered, glaring at him. Well, that black eye on his face looks about a week old, but you can still see it, he said, feigning concern. The world stopped for a second as my brain processed what Roger had just told me. I took off running towards Aaron's locker, but by the time I got there, he was gone. I ran down different hallways trying to find him, but he was nowhere in sight. The first bell had already rung, and I still needed to get to my locker and gather my books. I will see him in homeroom, I thought to myself. First period took forever, and my anxiety was at an all-time high. I knew that I would finally see Aaron in homeroom class, so I took off as soon as the bell rang. Walking in, I looked straight towards our seats, but he wasn't there. Has Aaron come in yet? I turned to Miss Carrillo and asked her. Well, hello to you too, and she said with a smile because she knew Aaron and I were close. Not that it's any of your business, but the principal sent a note asking me to send him to the office as soon as he arrived. Then, after a short pause while she greeted the kid behind me, she asked quietly, Do you know if he was in any kind of accident during Christmas break? An accident, I thought to myself. Something inside of me told me there was no accident. I had a feeling that his father had done something to him out of anger. No, I don't. Why do you ask? Well, it seems like he has a black eye and some bruising. It looks like it's almost gone, but you can still see it, she replied, sounding apprehensive as she talked about it. No, I haven't heard anything about it, I responded, trying to hide my growing unease and anger. Okay, well, have a seat and be quiet. The only thing I want to hear is the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. I grunted distractedly, annoyed by her and worried about Aaron. I took my seat and waited for the bell once again. I could not stop thinking about Aaron and what may have happened. Was he in a car accident? Did he get into a fight? I wondered. The bell rang again, dismissing us from homeroom, and question after question raced through my head. I hadn't paid much attention to the time, and much less the announcements for the day. Not realizing I was thinking out loud as I exited the room, I heard someone next to me ask, Who are you talking to? It was Mary, who had walked up behind me. What? Oh, I was thinking out loud. I turned to face her and answered. Were you talking about Aaron? She asked with a confused little smile. Yeah, I was. Why? Did you hear something about him? I asked, hoping she had. No, not really. All I know was that he had an accident. But he looked okay when I saw him this morning. He had a black eye though. Really? Is he okay? My voice must have sounded excited and relieved by the way she looked at me. Yeah, so don't worry too much, Mary answered, looking at me like she was realizing something. You're right, Mary. Thanks. I kept searching the crowd of people in the hallway to make sure I did not miss Aaron, but there was no sign of him. I tried not to worry about him like Mary said, but I couldn't help myself. Throughout the day, I kept an eye out for Aaron by taking the same routes he took, and all day long there was no sign of him, even during our lunch hour. He was nowhere to be found. I thought maybe he had left for the day until I heard a student in the hallway say, Aaron had some good ideas in today's meeting. That's when I knew that he was still on school grounds. As the day was coming to an end, I anxiously awaited for the last bell to ring. When it did, I rushed out of the room and headed straight to the parking lot. As I searched for Aaron's car, which was nowhere in sight, I began thinking to myself, did I even see it this morning? What the hell is going on? Is he trying to avoid me? I could no longer take the stress of not knowing and decided that enough was enough. I was going to drive to his house and check on him. I was going crazy not seeing Aaron all day. So crazy that my anxiety was feeding my determination to see and talk to him. It felt like an eternity throughout the Christmas vacations, and I could not wait another day. When I arrived at his house, there was no sign of his dad's car, so I got down and knocked. When the door opened, it was Aaron's mother on the other side. "Hi, Miss Smith, how are you?" I asked with a smile. "Oh, hi, Isaac, we are fine. How was your Christmas?" she asked in a tone that breathed irritation. "It was great. My family and I had a good time," I told her, hoping she would either invite me in or call for Aaron to come to the door. "That's great. Let me get Aaron for you," she finally offered, but she closed the door before I could respond. I thought it was peculiar that Miss Smith did not ask me in. As Aaron came to the door, I heard her say sternly, "Make it quick. You don't want your father to get here and get upset. And don't you close this door." "I know," he replied, looking down and never at her. When he looked at me, he let out a huge sigh. "Hey, Isaac, what's up?" faking nonchalance. "What's up? That's all you're going to say?" I told him in a low tone. "Where were you all day? I was looking all over for you. What happened?" "Shh, keep it down," he told me as he put his finger to his lips. He took one step out of the house and closed the door just a little bit behind him. Aaron started to explain in a rush. My dad was really pissed about me not being here for Christmas Eve. He had a little too much to drink that night because of some problems he had on his trip and ended up smacking me. He also grounded me and said that I was not to go anywhere other than school. I can't have any friends over for a while. He wouldn't look me in the eye. I had to hold myself back from trying to touch his face and comfort him. There was a feeling of outrage building in my stomach and one of sadness in my heart. "He hit you? What the hell is his problem?" I said in a low, resentful tone. "Dude," he said with a small eye roll. He knows he did wrong and said that he was going to get counseling. Tensions rose as we made eye contact. We stood in awkward silence for a few seconds because I was taken aback by the way he answered. To be honest, I felt a little hurt. I couldn't understand why he raised his voice at me when I was the one who was trying to show him I cared. "Well, I still think he's an asshole for doing that to you," I declared with my chin raised. I could tell that upset Aaron, but all he said was, yeah, I get it. I spent all morning in the principal's office trying to convince them I got hit in the eye while wrestling with my little brother. Then I was sent to the counselor's office for a meeting with her. That was another hour spent trying to convince her too. So to be honest, I am done talking about all this. But anyways, I am fine. He let out a deep breath and changed the subject. "Look, I just have to wait out this week, and then I can have friends over. But you better go because my father should be getting home soon," he said as he turned and headed to the door. "Yeah, okay, I'll go. I am just happy that I finally got to see you." Aaron turned back and looked at me in confusion. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for part 2 of chapter 6 of What Would I Do Without You. Until next time.